Am I the a-hole for accepting a bonus and then quitting? I worked for a company as an engineer. I originally told the owner that I expected $35 an hour, which was the average for my position at the time. I agreed to $24 per hour with the understanding that I would work my way up as I proved myself. Yes, that was naive. After 2 years, they increased my pay to $26 an hour. I brought up my expected pay from way back when, but I was told to keep working for it. Another company sent me a job offer for about $54 per hour and better benefits. I had planned to accept the offer and had a final interview set up where I was to give my answer. The day I was supposed to give my answer, the owner brought me into a meeting with a lot of higher-ups. He and the other managers congratulated me on my hard work, said I finally qualified for the bonus program, and then gave me a $5,000 bonus check. The kudos and the bonus were nice, but I had been saying I expected a certain pay rate for 2 years. I had gone above and beyond my duties. The average salary for my position had increased in that time, and I had been very open with my boss about that. I took the bonus, accepted my new job offer, and told my manager the next day. I was told that I shouldn't have accepted the bonus and that it was immoral. From my point of view, the bonus was a thank you for all my hard work, not a bribe to keep me on. Should I have not accepted the bonus? Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. That bonus was for underpaying you all this time, not an advance on future work. And by chasing it as a bonus rather than a pay raise, they could easily not pay it next year, and you'd have to work a whole year for the lower rates again. Take the money and enjoy your new job. A bonus is a one-time payment, not a salary correction. They were never planning to pay OP what is worth long-term. He did the right thing. If they truly valued his work, they would have increased his hourly wage, not dangled a temporary incentive. He doesn't owe them anything. Not the a-hole. The way a lot of people look at compensation is, a bonus is a reward for work you've already done. Stock is for future performance. So that bonus was yours for all of the hard work you had already done. There are plenty of people who will quit a job but stay around long enough to get a yearly bonus, where it's offered. That is not immoral since it's for work already done. I got laid off and still got my bonus. It was a WTF moment, but showed the bosses had no choice. I still got a bonus after leaving a company. They were given once a year at the same time every year and based on a percentage of profits. Since I'd contributed to 10 months of work towards that profit cycle, they gave me a prorated bonus 2 months after I stopped working for them. I had no idea they were going to do that. It was a nice little surprise direct deposit. Not the a-hole. You earned that bonus. They said it themselves. You worked hard and you qualified for the bonus. You were transparent about expectations. I believe the $5,000 is the definition of too little too late. Especially since it's equivalent to roughly $2.50 an hour pay raise if he worked 40 hours a week. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to fund my boyfriend's genius idea? I, female 24, have been dating my boyfriend, male 29, for 3 years. And while it's always been a bit wacky, I usually find it kind of endearing. This time, however, he's really outdone himself. A few weeks ago, he told me he had a groundbreaking idea that would change humanity forever. Entertaining him, I asked what it is. His answer? He wants to invent a new color. Before we go any further, it's important to note that we are both college graduates. I graduated in biochemistry last year, and my boyfriend graduated in philosophy a few years before, which makes this all the wilder, I guess. I try to gently point out that colors exist as part of the visible spectrum of light. So unless he was about to discover a new wavelength, this might not be possible. But he waved me off, calling me close-minded and saying he was enlightened in a way you'll never be. At first I just nodded and let him ramble about his vision. But then he told me he needed funding to start his research. Specifically, he wanted me to give him $4,000 so he could buy supplies, including advanced art tools, a lab coat, because apparently scientists wears them so it would make him feel smarter, And, wait for it, a trip to the desert because he thinks the pure sunlight there will inspire him. I told him absolutely not. I'm saving for grad school, and even if I weren't, I'm not dropping thousands of dollars on his, whatever this is. He got mad, saying I didn't believe in him or his potential to revolutionize human perception. He even accused me of being jealous that he had a world-changing idea, and I didn't. I got really heated, and he ended up saying a lot of things about using my card since he knew the details anyway. For reference, he's been unemployed for a while now, while I have a regular job. I ended up saying some things I do regret, but a lot of it was in retaliation. Now he's sulking and telling everyone I'm unsupportive and afraid of innovation. His friends are backing him up, saying I should be encouraging his creativity instead of crushing his dreams. Am I the a-hole for refusing to fund his quest to invent a new color? Edit. Regarding drugs, we smoke weed occasionally but haven't in the past few weeks. I've never seen him do any other drugs, nor have I found any in the house. So I don't know if I can really blame this on a bad trip. Saying he was enlightened in a way you'll never be. With his superior enlightened brain, he should easily be able to figure out how to make $4,000 himself. Not the a-hole, but you would be if you allowed a delicate genius to demean himself by begging for money from a lesser intellect. He's obviously better than that. My reply was obviously glib, but there is the possibility that he's having some sort of mental breakdown that requires professional attention. I would suggest to OP to request a new credit card number, so he no longer has the number memorized. This was exactly what came to my mind first too. Proactively cancel that card and ask for a new number. Then be sure it's stored somewhere he can't easily see or memorize. Also, OP, keep checking your credit card account so that the moment you see a single charge that isn't yours, you know is stealing from you intentionally. Nah, she needs to open a new account at a different bank, transfer the vast majority of her money to it, hide all evidence of it, and keep the card somewhere else that's not her wallet. Make sure it isn't connected to PayPal, Cash App, or any other way he can send money to himself. She needs to change her online banking, Cash App, PayPal, and email passwords and fully cut this guy off. She needs to break up with him or tell him he goes to therapy with her or it's over. As a woman, I'll never understand the crap some of us let partners put us through. This dude would be an ex the second he insulted my intelligence and threatened to steal my money without permission. Y'all ladies gotta grow backbones and some standards. Damn. Not the a-hole, but I'm concerned about him. This sounds less wacky than like a possible symptom of mental or neurological illness. I'm not a doctor or a psychologist, but if someone close to me said this and seemed serious about it, I'd be seriously concerned about their health. Yeah, and he's in a prime age range for psychological issues to pop up. He sounds kind of manic. Weed can cause psychosis in people who are already prone to psychosis. It can definitely bring a disorder out earlier than it would have. Mini update. Thank you all for the advice. I've moved the majority of my money into my second bank account for now, which I'm pretty sure he doesn't have access to. In terms of his mental health, I'm not in the habit of sharing his personal history online. But after seeing all your comments, I do agree that this might be a mental health issue. I'm going to attempt to approach him with the idea of a consultation tomorrow. If anyone has any advice on how to bring it up without it coming across as insulting, I'd appreciate it. I know he was down after losing his job, but your comments have made me more worried about more serious illnesses that he may have. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not telling my uncles we won't inherit anything? Before my 18-male grandma passed away, she and I had an arrangement. She gave me money to buy horror novels, and I read them to her twice a week. We spent a fair amount of time together. During one of our last sessions, she confided in me that she wanted to leave all her money to charities, but decided to leave a college fund for my cousin 16 female since Uncle Henry lost a massive part of his savings through gambling. The guy thought he could recover all he lost by making a big bet on Mike Tyson, but then Jake Paul won, so he ended up losing even more. Grandma asked me not to tell anyone about this, and I didn't. I kept my mouth shut. When my dad and uncles found out, they reacted in different ways. Dad wasn't really that surprised, since Grandma was rather charitable, especially in her later years. Uncle Henry was grateful for the fund, but Uncle John was quite upset, saying that she was their mom and should have left them something. All three of them got suspicious and asked me if Grandma told me about this during one of the afternoons I spent at her place. I admitted that I knew about it, and Uncle John said I should have told them first instead of letting them find out this way, that it wouldn't hurt so much if he had time to prepare instead of being caught off guard. Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. You had private bonding with your grandma, and she told you about a decision that she made. You did not have to spill it to anyone else. In fact, it would have been chaos if you had. Uncle John didn't want time to process and not be surprised. He wanted time to go to his mother and pressure her in her dying days to give him money. I bet he wouldn't have even tried to get your dad or the other uncle a cut. He just wanted it for himself. He would have caused a huge family rift as your grandma was dying and taken away her peace. So, by not starting that off, you are definitely not the a-hole. Exactly. Uncle John wasn't looking for time to process. He wanted time to manipulate her. You respected your grandma's wishes and protected her peace in her final days. That's the right thing to do. And props to you and your dad for being the stable branch of the family. Leaving a college fund for one grandchild because her son had gambled his money away and telling another you don't seem to have at any point asked for or expected her money, and she was confident enough in your relationship to tell you without worrying. Not many 18-year-old guys are that good with grandma. And your dad wasn't surprised it went to charity and doesn't seem to have complained. I hope you all have many happy memories of Grandma and that those horror novels sit nicely on a bookcase somewhere. Not the a-hole. Uncle John said I should have told them first instead of letting them find out this way, that it wouldn't hurt so much if he had time to prepare. Translation: I could have bullied her into changing her mind if you'd told me about it while she was alive. She knew what she was doing when she asked you not to say anything. Exactly this. The only preparing that should have ever crossed his mind is preparing to grieve his mother, not preparing how he was planning to spend her money when she died. Uncle John is letting his entitlement show, and gold isn't good on anyone. Not the a-hole. Your grandmother confided something in you, and you respected her wishes to keep it secret. Don't let Uncle John or anyone else make you feel bad. It's them who should feel bad for acting entitled to someone else's money. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay my friend $60 that I owe him? I, 30 male, and my close friend Jake, 29 male, have been close for years. Over the years, I've lent Jake money so many times. I'm talking $50 here for gas, $100 there during a trip, even once $300 when I needed to buy an emergency PS5. I never really kept track because I trusted him. He paid me back some of it over time, but he still owes me a decent chunk, which I've never bugged him about. He would occasionally gift me skins in the games we play in an attempt to balance the books. A few weeks ago, Jake covered my $60 when I left my wallet at home during a group dinner. I told him I'd get him back, but life got busy and I totally forgot. A few days ago, he texted me, "Can you send me that $60 from dinner?" I apologized for forgetting and said I'd sent it that night, to which he replied, "I shouldn't have to chase you for this, man." That rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't say anything at the moment, but it really started to bug me. I thought about all the times I lent him money and how I never pressured him to pay me back. I never once sent him a passive-aggressive text or made him feel bad about it. So I didn't send him the money right away, and instead told him, "Look, I get that I owe you $60, and I'll pay you back, but let's not pretend this is some one-sided thing. You still owe me hundreds, and I've never hounded you about it." Jake didn't take that well. He said it's not the same thing, because I never asked for my money back. So it's on me if I didn't care enough to get it. Now he's mad at me, thinking I didn't pay him back intentionally, saying I'm deflecting to avoid paying him back, and that I'm being a bad friend. I feel like I'm in a weird spot here. Yeah, I owe him $60, and of course I'll pay it back. But on the other hand, his reaction feels so hypocritical, given everything I've done for him financially over the years. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I paid him back like I always intended to do. Jake is a hypocrite and also an unblushing user. Time to make him grow up, OP. Send a new text. Hey, Jake. This whole thing is leaving a bad taste in my mouth. We both know that you owe me way more than $60. I haven't been hounding you for it, but that doesn't change the fact that you borrowed the money and said you'd pay it back. And you still owe me. It's been bugging me for quite a while. My best calculation of the total you owe me is $450. I talked to a couple of folks, and I'm going to take their advice here. I'm setting off my $60 debt against your $450. So now you owe me $390. And just so things don't get any weirder than they are right now, please understand that I can't lend you any more money until that $390 is paid off. Not the a-hole for putting an end to the bleed, OP. This, never lend him money again. Not the a-hole. So true, they clearly view each other differently. It's like in the movie Bronx Tale. Instead of hounding the guy for the money, just write it off and you never have to lend him money again. I for sure wouldn't. Not the a-hole. I would be furious at his dig. Even before the dig, I was on your side, but that pushed it way over the edge. Are you sure this is a friendship worth maintaining? We have been friends for over 10 years, moved to a different country for our higher education together, and are really close to each other's families. So I would like to think yes. Fair enough, but bear in mind this is not someone you should ever lend money to again. Last story. Am I the a-hole for taking my friend's sick dog to an expensive vet without her consent while she was away? I, 20 male, agreed to dog sit for my friend Alma, 22 female, while she was away for a week visiting her parents. On day 3, her dog, Cherry, started vomiting and refused to eat. I called her, but she didn't pick up. She was at a festival. I panicked and took Cherry to the emergency vet, where they diagnosed her with a blockage and performed a $1,400 surgery. Cherry's fine now. When Alma got back, I gave her the bill, explaining it was an emergency and that it was my only option. She completely blew up, saying she'd never have approved such an expensive procedure and would have waited to see if Cherry improved. She says she's broke and can't pay me back. Our mutual friends are split. Some say I saved Cherry's life and didn't have any better options, while others say I overstepped by not waiting longer because it's not like a dog could die that quick. Alma's now ignoring me and telling everyone we know that I forced her into debt. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. A blockage can kill any dog quickly. You literally saved her life by taking her. Well done for noticing she was really unwell. It can be tricky to spot. Edited to add. The vet wouldn't just go ahead with a surgery without exploring the option of making the dog sick first to see if whatever is causing the block could come out. This obviously wasn't a viable option. Some vets will get it wrong, of course. We are human. I'm right in this instance, and so was the treating vet. Second opinion wasn't an option for OP. It was crazy. I just grabbed her and went to the vet. Don't know much about dogs, but I knew something was definitely wrong. All vets are expensive, and in an emergency situation, they're very expensive. You did the right thing. Not the a-hole. She'd be crying about how you murdered her dog if you'd taken the only other humane route. You absolutely did the right thing. $1,400 isn't even particularly expensive for that kind of surgery. Yeah, I just couldn't sit back and do nothing. I'd hope someone would do the same for me.